Hey, what's up YouTube? My name's Wendy and I'm the Kayfabe Killer. Now this is my first horror video. I'm really excited. Today I have my screen up here, as you can tell. I decided to do a video on camp slashers, and what I actually wanted to do is check Letterboxd to see if there are any camp slashers that are rated 3.5 stars or higher. I thought that'd be like a fun little unique idea. You don't really see a lot of Letterboxd videos on YouTube, so I just figured why not. Now, I know that summertime's over, but there's never not a good time for a camp slasher, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite genres of horror. I mean, slashers in general. And there's two types of camp slashers. Like, there's the type of camp slasher where they actually go to like a camp. With like camp counselors and stuff, like a summer camp, you know? And then there's the other type of camp slasher where they're actually like camping in the woods. That's something that I've noticed, but I like both of them, and I think probably my favorite camp slasher is probably Sleepaway Camp or maybe Friday the 13th Part 4. Those are two really solid ones, but yeah, like some of the more obvious ones like Sleepaway Camp and The Burning are in this list. I actually made the list myself, and I tried to be as comprehensive as possible. I even added some like under the radar ones like Just Before Dawn, for example, or Cheerleader Camp. But yeah, let's get started. I mean, I think this would be a really fun idea, and yeah, let's check out these movies. I'm really curious to see if any of these will break the 3.5 star barrier. So let's get started. So first and foremost, we've got The Burning, a well-known popular movie. This one is directed by Ton Malin. And it looks like this one's only rated 3.1 stars. You know, that's actually really interesting because a lot of horror fans, they seem to like this one quite a bit, especially if you're like an 80s horror fan. And there's a lot of really good kills in this movie. You know, I think Tom Savini did the practical effects on this, and of course, if you know Tom Savini, he's one of the masters of horror. And he's done a lot of movies like Creepshow, for example, the original Friday the 13th. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is a pretty good movie, but I'm surprised, yeah, only 3.1 stars. So I find that quite interesting. Now let's move on to the next one. This one's called Just Before Dawn. I actually really like this movie. It's pretty good. And it's directed by Jeff Lieberman, and Jeff Lieberman's done a couple pretty good movies. Like, he's directed Satan's Little Helper. I really like that one. Squirm is like this like cool little bug movie, and then we've got Remote Control, which was this like bizarre like sci-fi movie. So if you want to check out more Jeff Lieberman movies, or even Just Before Dawn, like I highly recommend them. And so this one, it looks like it was only rated 3.2 stars, which is actually higher than The Burning. You know, I'm actually really surprised by that because I feel like The Burning is just like a way better movie in my opinion. Just Before Dawn's like one of those movies where it just kind of like builds on atmosphere specifically. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. I'm not gonna like talk about every single movie, and I actually haven't seen every single one of these movies, or I've seen them one time and I can't remember like every single detail, so forgive me if I'm not as like informative. I'm trying to think of the word informative on these movies. But yeah, let's go to the next one. We got Don't Go in the Woods. Now this one is one of those movies that's like really silly and like honestly kind of bad, but like this one kind of has a special place in my heart, and that's why it was the third movie in my list. Like, this movie kind of starts off with like a ton of kills, and people are pretty much being slaughtered left and right. I thought it was like really interesting. And this one says, 4 backpackers decide to take a hike in the mountains of Utah. You know what? I actually live in Utah, and I didn't even know that this was filmed in Utah. That's actually really interesting. But yeah, this one's only rated 2.3 stars, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, like, it's bad, but it's like, if you're one of the type of people that like understand that a movie's bad and you're just enjoying it because it's bad, then I think you would like this one. I don't really recommend it for somebody that's looking for like a really like good horror movie. The kills kind of suck. The acting's not even campy. It's just bad. It's like worse than campy in my opinion. But yeah, let's go on to the next one. So we got Cheerleader Camp. Now I really like Cheerleader Camp. It's like kind of like a sleazy horror comedy where there's like, you know, a killer is on the campsite and there's a lot of girls getting naked and lots of boobies in this movie, and I think it's fun. It really captures like that 80s, like think like in the later 80s they kind of headed more into like a comedic, sleazier kind of. They kind of went towards that area with the slasher, and you know, it's pretty fun. But this one's rated 2.5. I like this one a lot more than Don't Go in the Woods. So I mean, as far as the movie itself, I think it's a better movie. So I'm actually surprised that it only cracked 2.5. It's only like rated a couple more points higher than Don't Go in the Woods. But yeah, this one's like about a cheerleader named Allison. She's plagued by nightmares about the upcoming All-State Finals and attends a summer training camp with her teammates. When a number of deaths start occurring at the camp, Allison's nightmares turn twisted and brutal, and she begins to believe that she may be responsible for the mayhem. So yeah, kind of a fun little twist there. Yeah, if you want to check this one out, it's pretty fun as well. I might try to like go a little quicker because we do have quite a bit of movies here, but yeah, let's get started with Sleepaway Camp. I mean, Sleepaway Camp to me is like the GOAT of camp slashers. I mean, it has like the best twist in almost any horror movie. It's super fun. It's got a lot of cheesy one-liners. Yeah, I love Sleepaway Camp. It's just a great movie. And yeah, again, this one's only rated 3.2. I'm surprised it hasn't cracked 3.5. I really like this movie a lot. And yeah, that's really interesting, you know. And Angela is like one of the coolest characters in all of horror, in my opinion. But yeah, let's go to the next one. I won't take up too much time on this one. I mean, obviously, a lot of people know Sleepaway Camp. It's just one of the better horror movies, one of the better slashers, just in general. Okay, so we've got Sleepaway Camp 2, and then this one, you know, this one took like a little bit of a twist. Again, like, once you start going towards like the later 80s era, like some of the movies got a little bit sleazier, like a little, like they tried to go to like a funny, like try to be like funny, I guess, if that makes sense. But yeah, the sequel, it has a different actress, but it is canon that Angela is transgender, and I think that that's pretty cool, just to like add that element that you didn't really see a lot in horror. So, you know, I really liked this one. But basically, Angela is like going after anybody who's sex obsessed, and any boy who's a peeping Tom, as it says right here on the screen. But yeah, fun movie. And this one's only rated 2.8. You know, that makes sense. I mean, it's not even nearly as good as Sleepaway Camp, the first one. I honestly think Sleepaway Camp 1 should be rated higher. I'm surprised it didn't crack that 3.5 star rating that we were going for, but you know how it is. I mean, horror sometimes gets shafted in its ratings, and sometimes people don't understand the charm of horror sometimes, and especially with the 80s. Like, if people are you know, more into cinematic Hollywood movies, and then they check out an older horror movie, maybe they might not like it because it hasn't aged very well. That's just my opinion on it, but let's just keep going. You know, I don't want to like fill up a lot of filler here and just go on a rant. I want to kind of get around to these movies. But we've got Sleepaway Camp 3, which kind of the same idea essentially, but like, yeah, this one's only rated 2.5, and that makes sense. It's like a lesser Sleepaway Camp 2. I think like obviously Sleepaway Camp 1's the best one. Sleepaway Camp 2's pretty damn good, and then Sleepaway Camp 3 is just okay. I mean, I like it quite a bit, but it's like makes sense that this one is rated 2.5. I think that's pretty fair. Alright, now we've got Madman. Now, the first time I watched Madman, I honestly thought it was kind of dumb. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what my expectation was. Maybe I just like didn't want it to be dumb, I guess. I don't know. But I watched it a second time, and I had that expectation that I was like, okay, this is a bad movie. And like, I liked it a little bit more. I didn't love it, but I did like it a little bit more. I mean, I can understand. It's just like a silly movie. I mean, 2.6, I mean, you know, that's fair. Let's go to Body Camp. Now, Body Camp is actually directed by Ruggero Deodato. He did the infamous, whatever, Cannibal Holocaust movie, and everybody knows that movie if you're a horror fan, or even like a more in-depth cinephile. But yeah, Body Count, I'll be honest with you, like, I really struggled with this movie, and you know, Cannibal Holocaust is like one of my favorite movies of all time. But I don't think Ruggero Deodato like hit a home run here. I mean, I feel like you could watch House on the Edge of the Park, and that's a much better movie. It's very sleazy home invasion movie. I like that one quite a bit more than Body Count. But yeah, it's 2.6 rating. I would honestly rate it lower, you know. I feel like people are being a little graceful here. This is just not a good movie. And like it doesn't have a Blu-ray release or anything like that, and there's so many people that are asking for one, and I just don't agree with that. I really don't. Well, as far as like, there are better movies that I'd want more, I should say. I'd like to rephrase that. Anyways, we've got Friday the 13th, the OG, Sean S. Cunningham. You know, this is like one of the goated movies of the original big three slashers: Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween. Those were the big three. And yeah, this one only got a 3.0 rating, which honestly, it makes sense to me because I think there are better Friday the 13th movies. There are better Friday the 13th movies. Some of the sequels just land better, and you know, I think this movie's just okay. I mean, I definitely think Friday the 13th Part 2 is a better movie, so I'm curious to see what that rating is. But like, as far as Friday the 13th, the OG is concerned, I mean, it really is just an okay movie. Like, I don't dislike it, I don't love it. It just exists as this as the fundamental starter for like the Jason Voorhees franchise, right? It was just like the one that started it all. I mean, you build from there, like, what can we do next? How can we make this movie a little better? Or these movies, excuse me, and you know, I'm okay with that. 3.0 ratings, completely fine. But this movie, I like Friday the 13th Part 2 more. I think Sackhead Jason is the creepiest Jason, just throwing that out there. But yeah, 3.0 rating. I mean, it's rated the same as the original, which I disagree with. I think this is a better movie. I think the kills are better. And I think I think that Friday the 13th Part 2 stole kills from like one of the old Italian slashers. Okay, and I had a total brain fart, so you're gonna have to forgive me. But the movie that Friday the 13th Part 2 stole from is A Bay of Blood, which is really funny because I actually love that movie a lot, but you know, sometimes my brain just decides not to think of the thing that I'm trying to think of, and it can be pretty frustrating, but yeah, there you go. Next one. So we've got Friday the 13th Part 3, and this one's rated 2.7. I would agree with that. I mean, I would rate it maybe like a 2.8 or something, or maybe 2.9. I mean, to me, it is better than Friday the 13th. So, okay, that makes the ratings a little weird, because I did agree with the 3.0 rating. So that means that I think that Friday the 13th Part 2 should actually be rated higher. And then I think that this one should also be rated higher, because I think that these are both better movies than Friday the 13th. But yeah, it didn't crack the 3.5 barrier. Interesting. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Okay, no, this is one of the better ones in the franchise, if not the best. Tom Savini returns here. He does all the practical effects, and it's a great slasher. It's really fun. I love Kevin Bacon in this movie. But yeah, let's see what's going on with, as far as like the rating, it's only 3.1. I mean, that's better than the last two, and I definitely agree with that. But I don't think that the rating is still appropriate. I think that it should be rated higher. I'm surprised it didn't break the 3.5 barrier. Alright, I'm back. I just had to take a little small break to go get some water. But yeah, let's move on to the next movie. We've got Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Now, when I first watched this movie, I hated it. I thought it was a pile of garbage, to be honest with you. But I watched it again, and I'm a lot more forgiving of this one. I think that it has a unique idea. When I first watched it, I thought it was so stupid to like cut Jason Voorhees out completely and kind of have like a phony fill-in killer. I wasn't feeling that story at all. But now that I've watched it again, I just kind of like remove myself from that. And yeah, I mean, it's rated 2.3. I don't know. I mean, makes sense. I mean, it's not the greatest movie in the franchise. I'm a little bit more forgiving about it personally. I kind of like it now, but yeah, I mean it's not very good overall. Moving on, we've got Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I love this one. I think this is either the first or second best. I mean, a lot of people, and more hardcore Friday the 13th fans, usually pick Jason Lives, or they either pick that one or The Final Chapter as their favorite Friday the 13th movie. But yeah, it looks like this one's only rated 3.2 stars. Didn't break the 3.5 barrier. I'm actually really surprised because like we've now passed the 2 best Friday the 13th movies, and that didn't break 3.5 stars. And so it makes me really curious if we're gonna actually find one. I feel like I've kind of gone over the goated camp slasher movies. But yeah, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, fantastic movie. We've got The New Blood, which is also fun because it has like the girl in the movie that's kind of like a Carrie character, and I really like this one. I thought it was fun. This one's only rated 2.5, and that's actually really surprising because I feel like this is a much better movie than what it's rated. I mean, it's not quite as good as like Jason Lives or like, you know, The Final Chapter or anything like that, or even 2 or 3. I think those ones are better than this movie, but I don't think that this movie's like 2.5 bad. I thought like the Carrie supernatural power like was like a cool, unique idea. The movie's actually really well made too. I would bump this rating up a little bit higher, but yeah, this one didn't break the barrier either. And so we're starting to get into like some of the more lesser known ones down here. After Part 7 of the Friday the 13th series, it doesn't really take place in a camp setting, so I didn't add any of the other Friday the 13th movies. But you know what? Now that I think about it, I do want to know like what the remake is rated, because I'm really curious about that. The 2009 remake is one of the most garbage fucking movies that I've ever seen in my life. And I think that it has like a lot of forced camp. It's just a bad movie. Like, it's a really bad remake. The acting is abysmal, and I think that Jason Voorhees looks terrible. He just looks so stupid. But yeah, let's see if this one broke the 3.5. Nope, it did not. 2.6. I would rate it lower than that. I don't even think it's a 2.6 movie, and I rated it a 0.5 star. You know, because that's the worst that you can go. That's the lowest that you can go. I would give it less than 0.5 if I could. I hate this movie so much. It's one of my least favorite remakes. You know, I don't know if I hate this one more than the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, but I think both of those movies are garbage. It makes Rob Zombie's Halloween look like a Grammy award-winning movie, you know, or like an Oscar movie. Sorry, I don't know what the awards are. I never watched that shit, so forgive me if I got that wrong. Anyways, we've got The Prey next. You know, I've seen this one, and this one's like a pretty decent camp slasher. It's not great though. It's just good enough in my opinion. It's good enough. If you want to watch a camp slasher, this one's good enough. But I mean, it's not as good as Sleepaway Camp or any of those other movies. So don't expect much is all I'm gonna say. You know, you have to have a better stomach for these kinds of movies once you start heading in the direction of these movies. But I don't think it's bad. And 2.3 rating, I mean, I would probably give it, you know, I think that's fair. I mean, I can't really say much. I mean, I would probably rate it higher personally, but that's what people think. Now we've got Mother's Day. This one was actually directed by Charles Kaufman. That's Lloyd Kaufman's brother, who owns Troma Studios. This movie is really sleazy. It's pretty exploitive. I would say it's exploitation for sure. But yeah, I mean, this one's kind of intense. It's got a really intense SA scene. So if you're like sensitive to stuff like that, probably stay away from this one. Yeah, 2.8 stars. I mean, I would say that that's probably accurate. I'd probably rate it a little higher because that's just me. You know, I love camp slashers. I love movies that are in the woods. And I also love exploitation movies. So I would rate it higher, but like from a community standpoint, I think that that's probably accurate. I mean, if the community thinks that Friday the 13th OG is 3.0 and that's like the baseline for that movie, then Mother's Day being 2.8 is probably accurate. Moonstalker, I've seen this movie. This movie sucks. It's not good. It's very boring. I feel like nothing really happens in this movie. But the story is, during the winter season, a family camping in the woods and a group of camp counselors training in the same forest both find themselves being killed one by one by an unhinged psycho. I think the only thing I really liked about this movie is I think that it was filmed like in the wintertime. I can't remember. But this movie, I mean, it had a cool atmosphere, but like realistically, that's all it had going for it. The story sucks. The characters suck. It should be rated lower than 2.7. I did not assume that was going to break the barrier whatsoever, and it's not looking good. I mean, we've got some questionable movies coming up here, is all I'm going to say. We've got Berserker. I've never seen this one before. I mean, I have the Vinegar Syndrome copy of it. I just haven't watched it because I have so many movies that I need to get through. But yeah, this one, it says it's too late to run. There's no time to scream. Just close your eyes and pray to die. 6 young adults in the woods run afoul of Berserker, a Viking warrior who dons the fur and snout of a bear and are slain in turn by him. Okay, I guess. 2.4 rating. Don't know this one. I don't know this one. Next up, we've got Edge of the Axe. This is rated 2.7. This is by a guy named Jose Ramon Larez. I like this director. I think he's really cool. His movies aren't like spectacular or anything. Like, his movies are not as good as Sleepaway Camp. I think that movie's good. I use Sleepaway Camp as an example because I think that that's just like a really good horror movie just in general. But these are kind of like the more like low budget kind of films. But like if you want to check out some of this guy's movies, like he did this movie called Deadly Manor. I thought that was like a really cool like haunted house movie. Black Candles, Whirlwind, and then he did like one called like Rest in Pieces. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, some of these ones down here, I haven't really heard of any of these ones. But yeah, these ones up here are like all the ones that I'm a little more familiar with. I'll be honest, Edge of the Axe, like, if you're watching slashers like The Burning, Sleepaway Camp, Stage Fright, stuff like that, like, I would say that this type of movie is definitely a step down, that's for sure. This movie had like really amazing atmosphere. It was very beautifully shot. It's like shot up in the mountains. I thought that was really cool. I thought the movie was pretty silly. Most people probably won't like this movie. I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, these are my opinions. So it was rated 2.7. I mean, when you're going up against like Friday the 13th Part 2 and Part 3 and movies like that, like, yeah, I mean, this one does not bat up against those whatsoever. I think the killer looks really stupid. He wears this like white mask, if you can see it right here. Yeah, let's go to the forest. The forest was pretty fun. I mean, it was like an actual like camping in the woods, like old school style movie. And I thought it was alright, I mean, again, these movies are quite a step down from like your Sleepaway Camps and stuff like that, and like some of your Friday the 13th movies, and it being rated 2.3, I think that's a little harsh. I mean, I didn't think this movie was great or anything, but I would probably give it like a 2.4 or 2.5, but, that's not my opinion, that's the community's opinion. And next up, we've got Bloody Murder. I've literally never heard of this movie before, and I started kind of looking at some of the pictures, and it looks like we've got like a Jason Voorhees kind of ripoff guy. I mean, it was directed in 2000, and it's given a 2.0 rating. I mean, these are the type of movies where it starts to get like really bad. There's probably a reason I've never heard of this movie before. And next up, we've got the Camp Blood movie. Now, One thing I'll say is there's just a lot of Camp Blood movies. Brad Sykes started this, and these are like some really like low budget kind of like clown camp kind of movies, and there's like 10 or 15 of them. There's a lot of Camp Blood movies. This one being rated 2.3 does not surprise me whatsoever. I mean, I am completely indifferent to the Camp Blood movies. I don't think they like suck really. I think they can be kind of fun, but they're not like very compelling or anything like that. They're not like, these are movies that are like taking a step down from the step down is what I mean. There's definitely levels to this. Trust me, I have seen a lot of bad movies. Yeah, so we've got Twisted Nightmare. I've never seen this one before. This came out in 1987. And it's about a group of teenagers when a trip to a summer camp they had attended as children. However, soon after they get there, they begin to disappear one by one. The survivors suspect that the disappearances may be connected to the death of a handicapped child at the camp years before. Rated 2.7. Yeah. Now, I don't know anything about this movie. I've never seen it, so I guess that's what it is. Now we've got Decapitated. I've never heard of this movie either. I was thinking that this was like a shot-on-video movie or like a SOV, like, you know, low budget, you know, camcorder style movie. This was rated 2.9, which is very interesting. I'm surprised by that because like this movie just does not look very good at all. It looks like a movie that I would definitely check out. I love shot-on-video horror movies. I think they're very fun. Except the thing about shot on video is they're like a dime a dozen, basically. Like, there's not very many good shot on video horror movies, but the ones that are good are great, in my opinion. They just have a lot of charm. Old school horror like that's made by penny pincher directors. But I won't get into too much of SOV. You can Google that if you need to. They're fun movies, but there's a lot of bad ones. Now this is Stage Fright. I think I accidentally clicked the wrong Stage Fright because it's directed by Jeremy Sable. This is not the right Stage Fright. I did not mean to pick this one. This is the one that I meant to pick, the 1987 movie. I don't know if this is like, this 2014 movie is like a remake or something like that, but I really like the 87 movie. It's actually like one of my favorite slashers, and it's probably in my top, it's probably in like my top 10. And we've got our first movie. Okay, I was starting to feel really reluctant here because I was not sure if we were going to hit that 3.5 barrier. Now, we have finally hit the 3.5 barrier. It didn't break the barrier, but it did get rated 3.5 stars, which is so cool. This is directed by Michel Sauvé, one of my favorite directors. He's an Italian director, and he has made some great movies. Cemetery Man, one of my favorite movies. If you can tell, this was rated 3.7, which is pretty good for Letterboxd. Then we've got The Church. Awesome movie. This is my favorite Michel Sauvé movie. I think that this movie has a really creepy atmosphere. Great movie. And then The Sect, which this was also produced by Dario Argento, actually. And I thought that this movie had a creepy atmosphere as well. But yeah, we finally got our first movie. This one's about, I don't know, you know, I was thinking about it and I wasn't quite sure if this counted as a camp slasher, but like, it's about like a group of like young adults that are a part of like a musical camp. And so I mean, it's not like a straight up camp movie where they're like camping in the woods, but I think that it like barely counts. As far as it getting this 3.5 rating, I think that's awesome. I mean, it is one of my favorite slashers. I really like this movie a lot. And then yeah, again, I don't know if this is like a remake or something, but if it is, yeah, it's not as good according to Letterboxd. It's only been rated 2.8, so we've only got a couple more movies here. This one's Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight. Never heard of this movie. 2.2 rating. I don't have anything to say about it. I mean, it doesn't look like it's worth checking out really with what it's rated, but you know, you never know sometimes. And then we've also got two more movies. Now we've got Final Summer, which is rated 2.0. And then we've also got Final Girls, which is rated 3.2. That's actually really surprising. Now, with Final Summer and Final Girls, the thing I'm getting from these kind of movies is they're kind of going for like a retro feel, and that's like really popular in horror now, is they try to kind of give it like a campy, like retro, like, you know, cyber synth soundtrack like laid on it, and like just kind of give that whole feeling. And like, I'll be honest, like that's very hit or miss for me. Sometimes they put like retro filters on their movies with like grain and stuff like that, and like I'm not feeling that. Like some of the campiness feels a little forced, you know, and but sometimes they can be effective and sometimes they can feel believable. I didn't really like The Final Girls. I mean, but again, I mean, it's rated 3.2 stars on Letterboxd, and I think, you know, if you're a viewer watching this movie or this video right now, you probably might like this movie, but like for me personally, I just felt like it was just forced, and I just don't like that kind of stuff. And I feel like I'm getting the same kind of feeling from Final Summer as well. And there's one more slasher that I do want to look up real quick, and it's a recent one. It's called Don't Fuck in the Woods, and I'm wondering if, yeah, it does come up here on Letterboxd. I don't think this is gonna break the barrier, but I'm just curious. Yeah, okay, this one was rated the lowest. This one was rated 1.8 stars. I have this on DVD, but I haven't checked it out. You know, I figured I'd just throw this last one in here because it is technically a camp slasher. It did have a sequel that came out in 2022, and I'm wondering if this one was rated a lot higher. This one was quite a step up at 2.6, which, like, in my opinion, if you're rating a movie 2.5 stars, that means you're saying it's mid. It's not necessarily bad, not necessarily good, it's just kind of in the middle here. And so it's getting 2.6 stars, which means it's barely better than mid. But yeah, so I don't know, is this directed by the same director? We've got Sean Burkett, and then we've got Sean Burkett with the help of Ryan Brewer. I don't know who that is, but apparently he helped him out quite a bit. But yeah, anyways, that was the last movie. I had a lot of fun talking about horror. I know I kind of got off topic a little bit and like went into some other movies, but like, you know, I want to be comprehensive in my videos, and I want to like talk a little bit more in depth about some of the movies that I actually like, some of the directors that I like, and you're going to see that a little bit more as I continue to make videos like this. I've got some other ideas going on in my head. But thank you so much for watching. I mean, it really helps me if you like and subscribe or even comment. That would help me out exponentially. I'm a new YouTuber. I'm just getting started, and you know, I want to build a fan base here. I mean, I feel like there's a fan base of people that like, you know, bad slashers like myself, and you know, hopefully I can get a following going. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I mean, if you check this video out, I really appreciate that a lot, and hope you guys have a great day.